Hi, everybody. Hi, Irene.
Good
Thanks for
morning.
coming to the call. We really appreciate your time.
Oh, it's wonderful to
Uh,
be here with you.
Thank you. I'm just walking to the car, so there's no so much noise in the background.
That's all right. We can hear you fine.
Perfect. So we've got here Mari, Annie from Townsville. We have Leslie from Sunshine Coast.
hmm In
Sorry. I've got Paloma from Sunshine Coast as well. I've got Cynthia from Sydney. and,
Hello, guys.
and Heather from Sydney as well.
ah, awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. And it is a Friday afternoon for everybody, different time zones. We're four different time zones between the seven of us. It's amazing. So Irene is in the morning in the beautiful Tuscany where I've been in her home, and then we've got the other time zones across Australia. So just before I let Irene start talking, and you're going to hear her story, so I'm not going to double up or say everything that she will say. All I want you to say is in my phone, I don't have Irene Miller, I have Nonna. She is my Nonna. She is the most amazing woman ever since I first joined Isogenics and started working the business around 12 years ago. I have been connected with Nonna and David, so Irene and David Miller. And I knew at that time, I'd actually heard about them beforehand, that they were the very first people to reach millionaire in Australia in the Isogenics business when it opened here. And by that, that means that they, in that first period of time that you'll hear from her, they earned over $1 million. But you know what? It's not about the money. It's about Irene and how she is and how she treats our team and the overall team that she looks after, and everybody in Isogenics, doesn't matter if they're in her team or not, the same as she does her family. She is absolutely family focused. So when Leslie said to me that her little one's got a fever and she wasn't sure if she could get on, I'm like, Irene will totally understand. Irene want to hop out of the phone and get in your car and look after him in the back. So she's always there for all of us, the same as she is for her own family. And there's no better to explain and express the potential of this business and the vision of what it can do. But there's also another little part of Irene, which is that she is very, what we would say in Australian, hard-assed. She will tell you what you need to do. So she won't beat around the bush. She'll be very clear with what needs to be done if you want to achieve big goals with this. So, enough from me. Irene, I'd love you. You're meeting these beautiful women who are all very keen to build and grow together. And yeah, I'd love you to start with your story and yeah, wherever you want to start. Over to you, my beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Heather. Thank you. Thank you so much. I I don't, you know, your kind words, but it's who I am, how I live life, and of course the when you talk about our journey, it stirs such emotion still after 18 years. My heart pumps just at the thought of sharing my story with you. A lot of you have heard it. And it is something that I do not take for granted one day, because we have been totally blessed, you know. But anyway, I will share our story. But I'd love to know, just even in the chat, or if you, Heather, can put in the chat how long each of the girls have been with the business and what their, if you know, what their goal is, or give me an idea. But anyway, so as you know, we were introduced to Isogenics 18 years ago, and we were only introduced for the product. It had happened. My husband was told he had to drop some weight. I was not happy at all that he said yes to this program, because he had tried so many different programs Nothing worked. So everything was like a 30 day of juicing, 30 day of being vegetarian, 30 day of being, without carbs, 30 days of that. And I was just like, I've had enough. And then when he said he'd have, yes, he said, send me a pack. Well, my heart, I thought, I am going to kill you. I am Italian. I am from Sicily. I know how to handle a knife well. I am going to stab you in the back, and my life is going to be finished and over and happy. And I look good in black for the funeral. I will kill you. So I had to leave the room because I was going to spin his chair around and punch him as he spun. Anyway, I calmed down, went into the kitchen, and knowing he would have to come through eventually. So when he did, he said, look, and I said, you promised. He said, if it helps me, isn't it worth it? And I said, fine, 30 days. He didn't tell me that he ordered a program from me. So when the 2 boxes arrived, that was another problem. I didn't even start the day with the same day as he did. I start after. But I just wanted the 30 days to be gone. So I was putting more protein in the shake. Maybe I could get it to 28 days. Anything to sabotage. But the fact is, in that first 30 days, he dropped 10.6. For me, he spent the money on this thing, so I had to drink it or do whatever I had to do. We had 2 grandchildren at the time. We have 12 now. So it was a long time ago. So we had Layla 4 and Sam 2, and they were with us. We had them about 5 days, 4 days a week from 7:30 in the morning to 5:30. So there was like, drop-offs, taking to daycare, taking to a little kindy, picking him up, putting him to bed. So by the time the kids went home, I was like, my hips were sore because Sam was such a big baby. And I'd say to Dave, don't talk to me. I'm so tired tonight. And I would take some painkillers for my back. And then I'd have a glass of wine, and that was like me, finished. Day 3 on this program, very uncompliant, I know. But day 3 on this program, my son picked up the children, and I was in the laundry putting a load of washing on. And I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on? There I was putting a load of washing on. So there was something, the energy kicked in for me, and that was a big thing. And I didn't think I had weight to lose. I was 55, so my body was changing, but I honestly didn't go through any menopause at all. But my body, all the midriff, all here, just disappeared, all that. And I thought, okay, interesting. Don't know what it is, but I knew I was going to be on it for life because I had this energy. So we also had a business at the time that we had borrowed very heavily off our family home to buy the rights for all of West Australia. Very, very successful. We were busy running the business. We weren't looking at anything with the compensation plan. But enough people noticed Dave that he dropped the weight. People were noticing me with my energy and saying, what are you doing? I'm just taking this stuff. I have no idea what it is. I'm just taking it. So enough people just joined a little group that we were getting paid. We were getting a check. In those days, the first one was $22. And my husband said, what's it for? I said, don't know, don't care, happy to take, don't talk to me about anything about it, just happy to take it. But for us, 5 months into, and a friend from Montana in our upline actually faxed me the compensation plan on how you could earn $13,500 a week. But we weren't interested. I just parked it there. Then 5 months into Isogenics, the Queensland-based company that were supplying us our products gave us a call, less than 2-minute call, to say, tomorrow we are going into receivership. don't call us, call our lawyers. And in that call, we lost all the business. We lost all our superannuation. We lost our income, the value of the company that we had built. Everything had gone, everything, except the cards with the overdraft for the company. And it's the day that we call the darkest day and brightest day of our life, because we were just like, we're going to lose our house because we borrowed the money to buy the company on our home in Perth. We were 55 and 57. Everything had gone. We never told the kids. I never told my family. I never told my best friend. Nobody knew. We were so ashamed that this had happened to us in that stage of life. And we were probably going to have to live in a caravan park. But that day, it suddenly got very dark. I didn't know where Dave was. We were in the part of the house. We were just like, we couldn't even talk. I said to him, I remember I got this piece of paper showing how the compensation plan worked. And I said to him, do you think this could work? And he said, I don't know. But the very next day, he went out to get a sales job. He was selling artificial turf. And I had to get out of my front door and start talking to people, but talking to people about a product I knew nothing about because I wasn't interested. I was just interested. I still start my morning with the cleanse and water. I knew I'd be on it for life, but I just walked out. I went to see a man in a gym, and I said to him, I've got these products that I think your clients could benefit. And he said, okay. And he said, so tell me about the whey protein. Ignorant as I was, I didn't even know what that meant. We were taking the shakes every morning. I called them shakes. I didn't call them whey protein. And I thought, I've heard that name. Is it in the Ionics? I said, I'm sorry, I can't. And I turned and walked away. And quickly I learned, do you know what? He was never going to be part of my business. I'm meeting these people so I can practice. And when I'm pretty good, people will start joining me. So that's how it was. I could not say, oh my God, I can't do it. I had to do this. It was my last resort. So when Heather said, we were the first. So I knew we had a celebration in.
You put it there.
We had
Put it back.
celebration in was it in Las Vegas, and I've said to Dave, we've got to go. I've got to know what this business is all about. We had to go. We had a maxed out credit card, but we had to go. Because I said to the person who enrolled me, tell me what I need to do. She said, well, you've been on the product for 5 months. She said, but if you in the next month become an executive, a crystal executive, you have 1 month. If you go to America, you'll win a crystal trophy as a crystal executive. I said, fine, tell me what I need to do. You need to introduce 10 people. You need minimum of 5 on the left, 5 in the right, and you help them introduce 2 people. I said, is that it? Is that it? She said, yes, that's the highest strength that you can go. Good, let's go. So, and I had all my genealogy in the back part of the house, A4 paper. For example, Heather, I had Heather there. I had Natali there. I had Mariana there. And I'd walk around my people. I'd walk around them on the floor. I'd put them down, put them in there. And that's how I did it. And I did it in a month. You give me a target, nothing's going to stop me. Boom, I had to do this. Had to get out of my head and I was hungry for this. So we got to fly out. Now, one thing is for sure, is that the universe is going to test you. because you can't say, I want to be earning $1 million a year and think it's just going to happen. It is not going to happen. The universe is going to test you. Your friends are going to let you down. People that you think you could rely on, you're going to be wrong. People you don't know are going to come and are going to want to be part of whatever you've got because they are aligned with you. Understand, you've got to get out of your head, you've got to get into your heart. You have got to know what you want for your family. You have got to decide what you want, not what somebody is telling you what you should expect. No. And this is it. If you are going to be bold and you are going to say, this is what I want for my family in the next 5 years, you have got to have a really healthy attitude around money. You've got to respect money. You've got to know that you can't take it for granted. And you've got to show that you have a millionaire mindset. You've got to be a warrior and getting prepared to go into battle for your family and their future. That's how I saw myself. I saw myself as a warrior. As people who know me, I'm not very tall at all. In all of my grandkids, the youngest one, who's 3.5, is the only one that's shorter than me. But how I saw myself is going into battle like this. And whatever the universe threw at me, I'd say, I know your game. I know your game. You can dump everything you want on me, but I'm not going anywhere. This is what I want, and this is what's going to happen. And when the universe realizes that you have got scars and strength, everything happens. Not as soon as somebody says no, you, oh no, oh my God, my best friend, oh my God. My sister didn't talk to me for 2 years. When we became successful, she couldn't deal with that. What did it mean? She didn't talk to me for 2 years. And if I had to back away just so that I was accepted by friends and family, where would my family be today? Think about it. So we went to celebration. We had a ticket, went to fly out. I had $1.50 in my wallet. Sorry, that's the coffee machine switching off. When we got to the airport, Dave had a ticket, but he didn't have a seat. How does that happen? It's never happened before. We're flying out of Birmingham. How does that happen? I'd never heard of it, and I still haven't heard of it. So we had to wait. We lost our flight, and all I could think about, oh my God, I've got to get to this event. I've got to get to this event. They then flew us out to Zurich, and the airlines were on strike. Once again, Dave said, let's just go back to Perth. I said, no. I said, you sit there, don't talk to me, don't let anyone you could speak English. I held the passports here and I was running from place to place to place. Everything is being tested. Understand, you are being tested, but you've got to understand, I'm being tested. No, you can never say that word, which I call a dirty word, is it's too hard. That is not in the vocabulary. That word, if you go ahead and you have an opportunity and you don't take it, and because of that, you shrink because you're being put in a little box where people try to put you in, that is your choice. So eventually, we got to Las Vegas and our luggage didn't arrive. We had no luggage. We had no money. We had paid for the accommodation. We were washing our underwear every night. And I sat through the whole thing with a pair of 3/4 jeans and a pair of leopard slippers. That's what I wore for the entire convention. I did go on stage. Dave got me just a short little frock. He went in his jeans on stage to get our crystal. And that crystal, out of many awards that we have received, is number one, because it's where our journey started. The luggage arrived 2 o'clock in the morning that we were coming back. But I understood what I needed to do. And Heather has, I'm sure, has shown you this. This was all I needed to see was this. And it was at our last session. It was time over money. Have you guys seen this? Have you seen this? Time over money. We were here, 0. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was Luna Pang did it on a whiteboard. And as soon as I saw this, I said to Dave, I'm ready to go home. I know what I need to do. So in the first 2 years, we were here. I had nowhere to go, $1.50 in my wallet. With $1, I bought a CD from Jim Rohn saying, building your network marketing business. And I listened and I listened and I listened and used to play it in the car and over and over and over and over again, that I could even use his voice and I would talk as he was talking in his voice. That's how often I spoke to it. I listened to it. But when I saw this, okay, I understood. In the first 2 years, this is a profession, awesome girls. This is a profession, like any profession. If you're a hairdresser, you don't just go in, apply for a job, and they give you a pair of scissors to start cutting hair. You don't. You watch, you learn, you sweep the floors, you're making tea and coffee for the clients, and you're studying to be a hairdresser. A doctor, 7 years. They don't give him a scalpel on day 1 to start operating on and practicing. Understand, like everything, if you want this, you need to learn. This is year 1. You're working more time, a little bit of money. You're getting your product paid for. Second year, more time. You're getting better and your income is growing. You have to apply yourself like as if somebody has just taken you under their wing to mentor you to earning this big money. You have to commit. When I saw this, I was unstoppable. I kept on saying, I can't wait for next year, can't wait for next new year to see where we were. But you have to work. This is where most people give up because they use that H word. You see, but look what happens in year 3 if you continue going. Year 4, year 5. Year 1, we were in Las Vegas. Second year, we were in San Diego, whatever. In the 5th year, we were back in Las Vegas again. But every week, I used to print out the compensation plan. I would apply for every incentive they had. I remember one month we won $23,000. I thought, oh my God, I could pay off one of the credit card debts that we had from the company. That one first year, I filled all the stockings with the 2 things from the $2 shop. The kids did not know what it was. So, but year 5, we were back in Las Vegas. And I had worked out, because our goal was to be the first international millionaires, that we would reach it in October. It was a shame. It would have been nice when we were in August in Las Vegas. And yet, we had reached it in July, but the company kept it as a surprise that when we were in Las Vegas, we were actually recognized as the first international millionaires outside of North America, which meant that in that 5 years, from $1.50 in my wallet, next 5 years in Las Vegas, we had earned $1 million in 5 years. But because of the way the compound works in Isagenix, because of your team and growing your team, in year 6, we had earned over $1 million in 1 year. That's the magic of network marketing, but that is the blessing of Isagenix, because there is no other company like this. There is no other company like this, the generosity, the simplicity of our compensation plan. You have 2 teams. I'm working with my Italian team while I'm here, and they can't get their head that you've only got a left and a right team, because this one girl from another company is used to where you have 12 people and then you break away and that, everyone's in competition. Then you start every month, all your points are wiped away and you start again. Not Isagenix. Those points never leave. I'll tell you something, and I think Heather knows. I have a lady in my team that I've spoken to this week. Her name's Jennifer George, it's fine. She was with me, a client when I was in the fashion industry many, many years ago. When I started with Isagenix, she joined us probably in the first 2 weeks. She has never, ever, 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 ever stopped being a consultant. Her husband and a son. But that's all she's done. She has always been on subscription. She has never, ever, never done anything. But last year, when I was when we had our Christmas party, and I said to her, Jen, I've just worked out your points. Do you know that you have $1.8 million sitting there? Yeah. So I had a conversation with her this week. And as you know, we're starting the road trips again. If people don't know me, I don't know whether I should have said that, sorry. But, and she just loved when we built in Perth, it was the community that we had. And she would come every week. And I said, right, when I come back, the time is, she's probably got over $2 million now ready to cash in. I said, it's time for us to start sharing. And she said, yes. So, because her points never flush. Do you understand? You have got wealth creating. Even when we were earning 1 cycle a week, you would need $48,000 in the bank to earn that in interest in a week. So even though we had lost everything, every cycle, for me, it was like growing wealth. I wasn't afraid anymore because I was growing wealth. But you've got to have that mindset. First of all, you need to know what you want. You need to know that you are prepared to do whatever it takes. And you've got to be prepared to accept what the universe gives you and have a wonderful, healthy attitude around money, knowing that you deserve. All I knew that I was not prepared to spend the rest of my life in a caravan park. I wasn't born for that. I wasn't born for that. And I wasn't going to settle for that. So, and the growth, the appreciation, the wonderful thing. And you know, for me, when I was asked, what is it that you want? What was your why? What, if you could have anything you want to experience before your time on this wonderful earth is up, what do you want to experience? And it took a while. It took a long while because you always think of your family, things you have to do, like buying the house back that we were living in and this and that. But no, it wasn't. If I could experience one thing before my time is up, and that was to buy my land, my home in Italy. Because growing up from a migrant family, I wasn't really accepted as Australian, ever. I was born in Australia. I was the first one born in Australia. But no one ever, I wasn't accepted as Australian. because I ate the different food as a little girl. I just never ate it at school because I never opened my lunchbox because people would tell me it was smelt and whatever. I just wanted to, every time I came back to Italy, I felt I belonged. And every time I had to leave, my heart was out of my chest on the runway. So I said to my husband, who's the most kindest guy, I just said, this is what I want. If I'm going to run with this is what I want. And he said, fine. So I found my house on the internet. I kept on searching. I knew the smell of the cellar. I knew my view. I knew it had blue shutters, which is crazy. I could feel the soil. And I was getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And until the day I found it. And we bought it. We're here. We've had our son's wedding here. It's the most beautiful home. We've been here a month. As you know, I haven't even posted anything because it's been a year since we've been back because my husband had some health issues. And it's just my time that I just soak it up. I soak it up. And it's just, we've spent an overnight in Florence, which is our city, and we're in the countryside. We're just 40 minutes out of Florence, and Heather, we've had wonderful times in Florence, but we've got the city to ourselves. We're in this beautiful, just walking this, and all the Christmas markets are up, and all the trees in the piazzas are up, and we were knocking on the windows and buying glasses of wine and walking around, and it was just the most beautiful thing. And we've never left the kids for Christmas, but my eldest son said, Mum, you've got to do it. And we're here, my crazy family in Sicily, but here I'm in my peace and quiet. I'm just going to I want to show you something.
Irene, I'm just going to share my screen. Here you are.
Okay.
Can you see that?
No, not yet.
Oh,
yes, there you go.
So I just thought as you were talking, I'd just quickly show these photos. So
yes, please. Yeah.
This is it. This is what Irene dreamed of, and it's what she created.
Have you got the views of the valley on my fountain? Yeah. The valley. Yeah, that's all the mist. So sometimes we get surrounded by a cloud. We're in a cloud. It's all our beautiful, yeah. Yeah. Now what we have a big veranda on the front here, and we've planted grapevines, and my grandchildren planted the grapevines. So they planted that with our caretaker, with Luciano. Yeah, it's so beautiful. And this place, yeah, there, do you want to go back back when they were in this piazza where we're sitting?
Yeah.
We had lunch there. And in those windows right at the top here, that's where Mona Lisa, in one of those windows, that's where she was born. So, and that's it's another world, but we're so grateful because if it wasn't for Isagenix, that dream would have come to the grave with me. So when I see people say, oh, I wish, it's never too late, Everything, yeah. You are the designer of your own life, and whatever you want, you will achieve. You've just got to have tenacity and take a lot of friends with you on this journey. It's all about helping and changing people's lives. There's no outcome. This is the other thing, there was one girl 2 days ago, we were on a Zoom, and she's just paid $10,000 to do a course. On, and I just said to her, this is different. You don't close on any deal here. You're not closing. You are just creating a community. You're looking for people who are looking for something like you. There could be for health. It could be They could mean desperately be needing $200 extra a week to buy soccer boots or something for their children. You people are tired and stressed. All you have to do is find out what they need and show them how they get there. This is it. And I said to her, in the back office, in the Isogenics business, .anz tells you everything that you need, all the steps that you need. There's only 5 steps. And in the 18 years, we invested $200 for products to keep us healthy and strong. We're in our 70s now. To keep us healthy and strong. But we have earned, how much have we earned? I don't know, I think we've earned 16 million with that $200 investment, guys. You work from home. I raised 12 grandchildren and 2 of them were little. I remember being to sports days and they'd be running and we used to have like the hydrate, but it was called Want More Energy. And my little Sam would say, my nonna said, this is going to make me run faster. I'd be under the trees making my calls while they were running, and then put them in the car and we'd go and have afternoon tea. You do this in the pockets of your time. But it's also, now the younger ones love going in the office and they count all the trophies and they go, no, you really worked hard for this. I said, yes, but it was so much fun. Remember, you always stay true to your heart. You follow your heart. Your head will fool you. Your head will try to control you, but your heart is pure. Like my little Layla, who we started cooking when she was 4, and she used to put food coloring. She would refuse to follow a recipe. I'd say, Layla, all cooks have a recipe, not this cook, nonna. She'd go like this. And like, I'd have to throw the stuff away because you couldn't eat it. But she's an artist now. And whenever she started thinking, I said, no, you never give up on what is important to you. And now she's just, she and her wonderful partner live in Melbourne. They moved to Melbourne. She's just completed her honours. He's completed his honours. They're going to make their life in Melbourne. That was my little Layla, my little granddaughter, my first granddaughter. It is a fantastic artist. And she's well known. People even are buying her pieces before they even go to exhibition. It's not about get yourself a good job, darling. That's not going to pay. No. Your heart will never abandon you. Your head will fool you, but you choose. You choose.
Irene, if we weren't all on mute, you would have heard a pin drop as you were talking anyway, because everybody has listened to every word. And the one thing I'd love you to finish with is just looking around at these girls. The things they're saying in the chat, they know they're in the right place. They can see what the product can do. And, if you were to give them, just a couple of bits of advice as to what to do now. And you said something before about working with the people and working for others. And I really heard that. And that's obviously one of the things. What else would you say when you went to work, like what did you do?
Well, just you have to get out of your comfort zone. I had to stop being so precious and thinking, oh my God, they think I'm an idiot. Well, you understand, we never had what you have. We started, Australia wasn't even officially opened. We had 2 packs. Understand that. We had just telling you to take what was in the pack, we followed that and we got results. So for me, I know these products work. I never ever test or even try. Look, 18 years on, I still have my cleanse first thing in the morning before I have my coffee. And you, first of all, you have got to map out what you really want. Don't think, oh, no, I can't. Not everyone wants a house in Tuscany, but you might want to have an amazing property, or you see something up in the hills or on the beach, or what. It's your life. Your life. And you've got to talk to yourself how you would talk to your child. Would you ever steal the dreams of your child? Will you say to them, listen, darling, I do, but that's a pie in the sky. It's never going to happen for you because you're not good enough. Is that what you would say to your child? You would have to say, what would your mom say to you? You can do it. I gave you birth for a reason, and you're here on earth to make a difference. And I am going to get emotional now. I am, because you deserve it, and you can't throw your life away. Some people don't even get to have this choice. Understand that. But when you look after your family first and foremost, then you can do so much good for the rest of the world. I can tell you one thing that is one of the greatest things is that we can work, and people go, don't give them money, they're going to use them on drugs. But who are you to judge a person? That I've seen my husband, if we've been so, he will go to the ATM and take cash out and hand it to a person. And the look on that person's face, it's not for me to judge, because everyone to be in that situation has got a sad story. That's how I feel. And it's not for you to judge. But you can help people. You can help. You go through life looking at things without blinkers on. You can make a difference in the world. We, as Heather knows, before, when we first became and we were earning every week out of our income, we would have a direct debit to make a wish. I don't know how many wishes we have for children who have a desire. And we have fulfilled so many wishes. And then the biggest curveball was that 13 years ago, when our beautiful grandson Harry was born, 4 years after he was born, he was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. Okay? We were here for the wedding, and when we were going back, we were finding the diagnosis, and the pain and the hurt and the uncertainty for my son and daughter-in-law, they had the 2 boys, was something. When my son would say to me, Mum, the best thing that could happen, we come down in a plane. But you see, I'd say, Michael, we can go anywhere. We don't have to wait for a cure. We will go anywhere because we could. He started Duchenne Australia, and we are now raising a lot of money for families all around Australia. You know, he's spoken in governments, he's spoken with parliaments, he's got this, he's getting better drugs for the kids. Dino Ferrari has come on board and donating, and Toy Box Australia have just committed 400,000 over the next 2 years. We have now got a psych and a nurse at the Children's Hospital just for these children, and the psychs for the families and the children and the siblings. This is what money can do. It's not about just one thing, understand. And we were so blessed to be in a position that it may be too late for our grandson, but my son is impacting all the thousands and thousands of boys that are diagnosed every day, young families. You see, you've got to see the bigger picture. You've got to break down the walls around you. First of all, you've got to know what you want. What you want. This is what you want for your family, for your children. This is what you want. Then you make a plan. with your team, and you get to work as a team. There's no I in team. You plan your rank advancements. You plan your next journey. You plan on jumping onto the next trip. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Remember, while you've got a job, you are fulfilling somebody else's dream. They'll keep you in the job just to long enough, keep you in just to keep you happy with what you are made, but they're never going to give you too much, right? And this is a very, very important observation, and this is a fact. It's there were these 2 job descriptions in the newspaper. 2 job descriptions, identical to every comma, full stop, identical. But one offering $200,000 a year salary. The other one offering $80,000 a year salary. Exactly the same. Do you know, this was a test, like, you know, they were just running to see how people go. 80% of people applied for the one offering $80,000 a year, because that's where they think what they deserve. People are afraid of earning money because they don't believe they deserve it. So you cap yourself. It's entirely up to you. But when I saw that compensation plan of $13,500 US a week, and if you're an executive, you can earn up to a further $13,500 a week, which is $27,000 US a week, for an investment of $200 a month, which is your overheads, which the company pays you to eat to be healthy. It's a no-brainer. But you have to treat it with respect. And if you want that $1 million, even if you want $500,000 a year, you name it, it's yours. It's up to you. But understand, if you do the right thing with your team and you're building, you cannot stop this. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. It gets momentum, and you don't know where it's going to be around the world. You don't know where it's going to be around the world. The only thing that will stop you going forward is yourself. That's it. If you stop going into work, you're not going to get paid. Your boss isn't going to still pay you if you don't show up. This is no different. You've got to treat it like a serious business.
There's been some great words put in the chat, Irene, and everybody really can see the potential. And when I first asked you to do this, you said to me, you know, Heather, it's not just one call. You said, you know, I'm happy to talk to these guys. If they're as serious as you describe, I'm happy to talk to them again. And I just wrote in the chat, you know, I wonder if who would be open to, you know, within the next week, you know, just deciding what it is you really want. You know, the reason I put those photos there is because, you know, I dreamed of going to Tuscany and being in Irene and Dave's place, and you know, we did that. So, you know, you can achieve anything it is that you want. And how good would it be to get together again in a week with each of you who are contributing so much, because they're not just sitting there quietly, they're in the chat agreeing with you, you know, with what they want and you know, who they're talking to help them, you know, achieve this. It's that's just a thought that came to mind. So I thought I'd throw it in there and see if you were open for that.
If I'm open for it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Of course. 100%. No thinking about it. I would love to, you know, get the girls going if that's what they want, or just to meet them where they want to be, to get them into, having to be really clear, and using language is really, really important. Just think, well, you don't say, oh, I'd like to, or I think, or whatever. You say, this is what's going to happen. This is it. This is my next 12 months. So, New Year's Day, first of every, I write to 2026. I have been waiting for this moment to kick off the year. This is my year, and I speak in the present as though it's already happening. It has been wonderful having the children here again and my grandkids, and I write in the present. X amount is coming into the bank every week in the present, and I keep that book opened on my desk. That page stays open on my desk until the following year, where I flick off, and it's, dear 2027, what an exciting year you are. This has happened. They haven't quite yet, but that's what I'm planning. And I keep it open. But absolutely, we can, before the next call, concentrate on what you want, what you envisage. You've got to just be absolutely raw and real. And the bigger the goal, the bigger you'll achieve. Remember, they say the problem is that people don't aim too high and miss. They aim too low and hit. And they settle for easy. Because even if you shoot for the moon and you land on the stars, it's a pretty great beginning. And it is the most wonderful. As a person, what will happen as all these things unfold in your life, it is like the biggest commando, boot camp you could ever experience. Even being young as you guys are, we were in our mid-50s when we started. You become these incredible parents, the whole everything. It's like these blinkers come off your eyes, and your language and everything that you go through. You're in a partnership. Your partnership with your partners is so incredible. And to see what the universe delivers when they know that you are serious, it is absolutely bonkers. We've experienced things that you couldn't even dream about, but it's all happened.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Irene. Guys, feel free, even if you've got babies in arms or whatever, feel free to unmute and just give Irene some love. Just thank her for everything she's given to us. We said 45 minutes, we've gone 50 minutes. It's just been an absolute pleasure. And I get so excited when we do work with you, Irene. And I think this group, certain groups I know are deserved of you and your energy. And I really do believe that this group is deserved of you and your energy, and they will, they will get out there and do the work. So, so anything you want to say quickly to Irene, as I said, either put in the chat or feel free to unmute. Marianne.
So, thank you, Irene. I really love it. Really appreciate you sharing your story, just to give me more inspiration. I know I love isogenics. I know it's right for me. And these girls here, they are highly skilled. we get along together, we have the same vision, and we are the people that, put the work and we are skilled to share with others, to train others, because as well, it's all about leadership and help as much as people as we can. We always chat, money will come. Let's focus on helping people. Let's focus on helping people. Don't It's sort of like it's giving, you're giving just to help. Let them feel good. Let's build the community. Let's make it real, funny, and nice. Don't worry the money when one day gonna look up a bank account, you're gonna get that.
100%,
Awesome.
100%. And, if you help people fulfill their dreams, you will fulfill yours. And it's all about working together, but be really clear. Be clear on what you want. And, it's all about, there's so much out there. So many people are hurting out there. And it's just having those conversations and really listening. You may assume that somebody may want to lose 20 kilos, but when you ask them, what is it that you're looking for? They may say, I will do anything for energy. And you think, I can help you. But you know that once they start the product, that's why they've got the 30-day money back guarantee. A lot of things are going to change. But you don't have to even say that, because just say, put the products, we're all different, we all respond differently. That's why the company gives you a 30-day money back guarantee. Because it's all about bringing the body back into balance, back into alkalinity, and getting it into a healthy state. So whatever, and yes, you just make a plan, map it out, make it at like, know when you're going to consultants. I don't know what level you guys are, but say, this is when I'm going to go to a consultant. This is when I'm going to get to manager. This is when I'm going to get to director. And this is when I'm going to get to executive. You need to have a roadmap, because it's like putting a GPS, putting it into your GPS, because the GPS is going to take you the fastest route. There might be obstructions on some road, so it might take you a little longer so you're not banked up in the traffic. But if you don't put it in your GPS, one day is going to be like the other. Another week's going to go by. How many conversations did you miss? How many eye contacts did you miss? People looking at you, thinking, please notice me, I need help. Please look at me. And you're so focused, you're going somewhere else. Understand, people will be looking for you. You have to be just open to looking at people. And then have a plan of when you're going to get to executive. Because if you don't get into the GPS, or even if the GPS is taking you, you do a right turn, it's going at the left, turn left at the right, at the roundabout, turn left, and you keep on going. Oh, so then you stop, you have a cup of coffee, you stop and have a view, you do a selfie, another day's gone. The GPS is there. So your planning, your future is very, very important. Is important. You can't want to waste another year and be in the same place. That's stagnant. This is exciting. Like I said, that friend of mine who's been such a loyal customer for 18 years is sitting on $2 million. Yeah, and she's incredible. I spoke to her like this year and I said, Jen, I said, we've been friends for like over 20, because she was a client of mine. She goes, and some of those clothes she sold me, they're still my favorite pieces. 20 years. But I just want, it's time now. Her husband's retiring, is for her to cash that money in. It's only Isagenix that does things like this. Only Isagenix. That's all I can say. But please have a list for our next call. I'd like you to have a bit of a guideline, and then we can talk about each guideline, perfecting it, make more certainty in it. But just I want you to honestly open your heart and let's realize it. Let's realize it.
Thank you, Irene. Natalie,
Thank you.
Cynthia, anything you want to say to finish off? Feel
Thank
free.
You're welcome.
I
Cynthia.
just want to say, Irene, you are absolutely gorgeous. An amazing nonna, as Heather says. So thank you for giving the
Grazie, amore.
time, and it's really lovely listening to you. It's just nice to listen to you. You know, we need to be grounded, and listen from you, I think, was really good. I want to thank the girls as well to be part of this call. I really wanted them to be here to get to know you, because I met you before and I knew this was going to be a very important call.
Grazie, amore. Thank you so much. Thank
Prego.
you.
Grazie, amore.
Thank you, guys. We will be back to you with the time with Irene, and we will follow through and keep this moving. Thank you, Irene.
Thank you,
Love
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Have a nice time.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.